Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pickleball Proof number 13 with your host, Colin Smyth. Now today we're going to be looking at another video from the SEMO CHEMO tournament. And we've already seen Tursky and Jason Weir's Chucky, or Chucky as we like to call him. And they defeated Rich Geenan and Scott Mashman. But this is a round one, round robin match, I assume, or maybe it's the first match in the tournament bracket. Not exactly sure. But one thing I like about this guy on this team is he has the same last name as me, minus the E. I also watched him in the Nationals. I think him and his partner won the 4-5 division. That's Gene Smyth. I don't know anything about Jonathan Dyer. I've never seen him play. So my suspicion is that Tursky and Weir's Chucky will win this, but we'll see. So I started a job recently and haven't been able to play as much pickleball, which sucks. Right now I'm only playing on the weekends, so I'm losing some of my edge, which sucks. But I'm supposed to be going to a Charlottesville Invitational next weekend, so that should be fun. We might try to go for 2 days up there, see how we do. And then the following week, I'm in the Smyth Mountain Lake Tournament in Roanoke, Virginia. So I'm also going to be taking my camcorder up to the, well, not my camcorder, a camcorder up to the Charlottesville Invitational, and I'll be able to record some matches. It's rec play, but it's going to be a high level play up there. It's invite only of mostly 4-5s, and there might even be a few 5-0s up there. So should be some good matches. I'm going to try to record them and then do some commentary on them. Maybe a little, self-analysis. So anyways, let's get this one started. Let's see how it goes. And we're going to look at do a little fashion policing here. We have Gene Smyth, and I'm afraid to say this is most likely a fail. Looks like something you might wear to rob a 7-Eleven. You got the red. Well, I guess he does have red, white, and blue, which is kind of patriotic, but if you would fail. We got Jonathan Dyer. What is with his hat? Why is his hat? You know what? Dyer isn't too bad. I think his hat's crooked, though. Of course, Tursky. Does he have red right there? Anyways, let's get this started. Let's get this bad boy started. We got Chucky. Tursky. Good third. What's this guy's name? Dyer. Dyer and Tursky. Dyer pops it up a little to Chucky. And Chucky hits it long. Here we go with Smyth. Chucky. Smyth. Bit of a bad third. Bad fifth. Punished by Tursky. Smyth has kind of a awkward looking swing on his third. Tursky, another bad third by Smyth, a bad fifth, and somehow that goes off the top of Chucky's racket and lands in. Chucky, Tursky, hard third, gets the pop-up, hard fifth, nice reaction by Smyth, and why do I keep forgetting this name? Dyer. I don't know what happened there. Somehow Chucky was able to hit a miracle half lob back on the baseline. And Dyer hits his return into the net. There we go. Smyth, Chucky with a hard third, and Tursky tries to poach, but that ball was hit very hard to try to poach back, and he hits it long. Tursky kind of steps over, takes the third, and Chucky with a pop-up of the fifth, and a good punish by Dyer. Tursky is saying, that's mine. That's my third. Smyth with a hard third, and then a bad fifth, and gets punished. I'm not sure what Smyth is doing. Like, why are you trying a hard third on these guys? It's not going to work. Decent third, but Dyer overcharges, and the fourth by Chucky is very nicely placed down the line. Catches Dyer charging too far. Smyth hits his return out. Not looking good for Team Smyth here. Slow return, or short return, but Chucky hits it into the net. Chucky, hard third. Smyth with a decent punish, good low shot. And Chucky tries to go hard down the middle, but Dyer is ready, puts it right back at Chucky's feet, and Chucky can't handle it. Dyer, half decent third, over to Smyth. Now they're up the line here. Dyer goes hard to, or a bit high to Chucky, and Chucky, looks like Smyth was out of position there. Let's take a look at that right there. So look what we have here. We have Smyth looking all out of position. Look how he's standing pretty much straight up. Smyth has a good ability to make shots from what I've seen in his Nationals performance, but his positioning of his body so far in this match has not been good. Like, I'm not sure why he's not set and ready here, but he's too vertical, and he also starts backing up here, which I'm not sure if this ball was, it's not really high enough to do a complete punish, so I think the better idea for Smyth here would have been to just kind of stand his ground and see if he could defense that shot back instead of backing up. Although that did look like it hit the tape. We got Dyer, decent third. Chucky goes. See, that's one of the most difficult shots as Gainan goes flying into the court. That's one of the most difficult shots in pickleball. Let's go back to this. Is you hit a good third, and your opponent, you're somewhere around no man's, and your opponent hits a ball which is questionable if you can punish. You're not sure whether or not you should punish it. And I think in that situation, you want to err on the side of caution and try to hit a soft fifth just over the net. Because usually if you're kind of wondering whether you should punish it and then you just decide to punish it, it's usually not a good shot. And that's what happens to Dyer here. If you watch this. Let's watch this in quarter speed here so you can see him. You see that ball? It's kind of not exactly punishable. It starts dropping and the angle over the net is not good. And that's kind of a tough decision you got to make on your fifth as to whether you're going to punish or go soft, or maybe something in between where you do sort of a little bit of a punish, but it's a softer punish. So you increase your odds of making a good shot. But he tries to do kind of a full punish here, looks like. Yeah, he tries to go hard there. in between them, and the ball is just too low to do that. I mean, it wasn't too low, but it's a high degree of difficulty shot there, trying to go hard there. There we go with Chucky. Nice third into the corner. Dyer can't handle his fourth. Should not be missing your fourth shot ever, folks. Hit the net. With a hard third handled by Smyth. And Smyth is kind of a wacky guy. I'm telling you this much. So we have a hard third nicely handled by Smyth. And if we watch here, that ball, Smyth doesn't seem to have he's not very volley oriented in terms of trying to maximize his lean over the kitchen. He's kind of just standing straight up, and I think that's a ball that he could have attacked. He's more of a stationary type guy where he has good shot making abilities, but he doesn't seem to move his body much to facilitate his shots. So this is a ball I think that he could have punished if he was. That's his forehand too. I think if he was up the kitchen, if he was actually lined up with the ball a little bit more, like a little bit more to his right and leaning over, he probably could have punished this. But he lets it bounce. And then he does a, generally I don't really like this shot because, well, is that ball going to land in? Anyways, even if that ball is going to land in, I just don't like a ball. I don't like a ball into anybody's wheelhouse. Even if you hit it real hard, if you hit it real hard, then yeah, they're not going to have time to properly react to it. But if they don't hit it, the ball goes out. And they could still hit it and not give you a punish. So I generally don't like this type of shot, but it happens to work on Chucky because he takes a stab for it. He may have been trying to flick it into the middle. Maybe I didn't see that ball quite right. Let me watch this shot again. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe this was a decent shot. I don't think I saw the angle right. Let's see the angle. I thought he hit it right into Chucky's. He did hit it to Chucky's backhand. Let's see here. So we go third hard, good. Fifth could have punished. He just kind of whips it. I guess there was a bit of deception there. I still generally don't like that type of shot, even though it was pretty good deception. It's just in so many wheelhouses right there. We go Tursky with a. All right, let's talk about this. It's gonna be a long video, folks. It's gonna be a long video. Let's talk about this. We've got a third shot lob right here. Honestly, unless your opponent is really bad at overheads, in which case they're probably not very high ranked. And any decently ranked player is probably not going to have a weak overhead. I would say the only time you want to do a third shot lob is for kicks. I mean, in a really serious game, I would not recommend third shot lob. But he does a third shot lob here. And it looks like Dyer actually isn't prepared for it. But still gets a decent downward angle on the ball. And Tursky tries to soft it over and is unsuccessful. But Tursky is a player that will always do something different, which is good. So we got kind of a not decent third, and then again, this is what we were talking about before. Okay, there's the third shot lob. Not handled. Now let's look at this ball. Let's look at his third. Same before. You've got kind of a questionable third, half decent. Goes off the net, and he thinks he can punish it. That's another one of those, I'm not sure if I can punish it. It was kind of borderline punish that they tried to go hard and it went into the net. Same thing happened to Dyer earlier. So I think the better play is to just go soft there. Decent third by Dyer, and again, so what happened there was, now let me tell you, this looks like good pickleball. Pretty good pickleball all around. He got what he wanted on his third. He got the pop up. He was moving forward, and he tried to punish. So if we look at this third, it's a good third. He gets his momentum going forward. Gets a nice low shot. He gets the pop up. He gets what he wants. And his fifth, he goes hard, and it's just good hands by Tursky to anticipate and get a punishable ball from, it looks like Smyth hit that back, but still a good play by Dyer. I think on his fifth, it's just kind of because on his fifth, he almost hit it right to Tursky's paddle. But I like the play by Dyer. He shouldn't feel discouraged about that. That was a good play. Because he got what he wanted, he just didn't get the result. Tursky with a nice soft third. Dyer cross court. And let's take a look at this. What happened here was Tursky I'm not sure that was even necessary for him to skip like that. I think he could have done the same shot just standing there. But he kind of surprises Smyth, and Smyth pops it up. I'm not sure what to say about that. I don't think he needed to dance over like that. Okay, so Chucky, a short return. Chucky goes hard to Smyth, and then hard back to Dyer, good hands, and can't go cross-court dink. Good control by Dyer and Smyth to control Chucky's aggression here. Tursky goes a nice soft, Smyth. Backhand Dyer, and they're working Dyer's backhand dink. Was that in? What was that? Just a surprise. He must hit that out. Kind of a surprise backhand. Maybe that was in. That was a nice surprise lob then. Smyth is a decent third, but does not. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about what Smyth has issues with here. Maybe he has mobility problems. But let's talk about this. He hits a decent third. So he hits a decent third, but he's not moving forward. He sort of tries to. If he would have been moving, that was a definite punish. And another thing is, so here's the third. Now, look at the late reaction time by Dyer on his third. He waited until after he hit it to start moving forward. He should have been moving forward before then. Dyer could have poached this. He could have poached this. Not only that, Smyth could have poached this if he would have had more momentum going forward when he hit his third. So, pickleball is a game of taking advantage when you can. There's been shots that have been cross-court in front of me that I'm like, man, I could have poached that. You know, and that comes back to haunt you. You don't get those chances back. So you always have to be eager for that opportunity of a high ball. And this is an important part of their game that they're missing, is the approach of the net. The eagerness to get to the net seems to be missing. They need to really follow up that third shot and be ready to pounce for the fifth, because Chucky gets away with a bad fourth. This is a bad fourth right here by Chucky, but he gets away with it because nobody's there to take advantage of it. Look how high that ball is. Anybody in no man's land or closer could cream that ball. But basically, he ends up hitting it, and Smyth has to try to hit another third. And he just pops it up. So he pops it up, and then Chucky has the easy angle right there on the punish. So what happens in these situations is the player that hits the fourth thinks to themselves, well, you know, hey, I won the point. That must not have been that bad of a shot. Because they're not getting punished. So it sort of perpetuates this type of play, this type of bad fourth shot play where people are popping it up, and you really need to not play like that in order to get to the really high levels of pickleball. So just keep that in mind, that some people, they've done it for so long that they think it's okay, that you can really punish people who are not good at keeping their fourth shots down, especially when you hit a good third. So I don't know the score is Chucky's team is ahead. We got third by Dyer. Good third. The fifth. And Chucky just goes hard into Smyth. And Chucky is good at that. You know, I got to give it to him. He's good at deception on his dinks and then just going right hard, high chest. And he gets Smyth. He goes hard and he gets the kamikaze pop up, the hard third, and then just a pop up off the hard third, and then the punish, the poach by Tursky. Was that serve out or something? Or they just didn't get their return? Here we go. Chucky. Tursky. Hard third. Fifth, right up to the net. Steps over. Unnecessary. It's a bad habit to get off your court position. You don't need to. We got Dyer with a decent third. And a nice shot by Chucky, but nice hands. Chucky tries to go semi-hard into Dyer, but he's ready for it. And just goes hard back and gets the pop-up. And that time he was able to punish. So this is one of the most common mistakes I make, is a third shot, and then a fifth and a failure to properly punish. Either the ball was low. Basically, I think that ball was punishable, and he could have punished that. More of the times what happens with me is my fifth shot is a low ball, and I try to punish it, and it goes into the net, or I pop it up. So the fifth shot is key, people. The fifth shot is very important. It's almost more important than the third shot. Third shot, you'll get so good at it that you'll make it almost every time, but that fifth shot is the real factor right there. And then here we just have a pop-up third shot and a punish by Tursky. Chucky goes hard, and Tursky ill-advised poach. Kind of, I think the rule that I usually do. I'll show you what I usually do when I'm trying to poach. Okay, so pretend I'm Tursky right here. So what I'll do is I'll wait for my opponent's third, and so he's doing a poach on a hard ball, on a hard third. Kind of the same concept. If it was soft, basically you're cutting off the angle. Your opponent, your teammate is going to hit a ball, and you're cutting off the angle to where you think the opponent's going to hit it or pop it up. So you start running to the ball, and then you have to quickly make a decision on the height of the ball. The key is the height of the ball. Okay, if the height of the ball is low and you're moving to poach, I generally would advise for you to lay off the ball and let your teammate hit it, because they're already set. And it's going to be something that you'll have to feel out on your own, but you have to have that ability to pull back on a poach, because you can't poach everything. And it's just, if your teammate is already set, then just stop and let him have it. But on this ball, it's dropping too low for the force that Tursky is hitting it. Tursky also looks a little bit, he's a little off balance. So in that case, I would have just let go and not poached it. But it's very hard to, I know it's very hard to stop once you've committed to trying to poach. It's a very hard thing to do. And it's very hard to identify those borderline type shots where is this high enough to where I can hit it back. So topspin also helps when you're poaching. Get the ball to drop. Anyways, I don't think that was advisable. If he was going to hit that, then I think he should have just stuck his racket out and just kind of tried to hit it back low and not actually try to hit a winner out of it. I think one of the key things is you don't have to hit a winner every time you poach unless you're really moving and you're going to be out of position. You likely will have to hit a winner because you're leaving a lot of the court open. But if you're not really if you don't really have a lot of momentum to where you're really going to think you're going to be caught out of position, then you don't really have to hit a winner. You can just say, well, this poach isn't going to work, and he could have just hit it right back over the net or right back over the middle of the net or something like that, and just gotten back, slid back over here. Here we go, Chucky. Nice third. Smyth, good shot. Chucky goes high. Smyth is ready for it. Again. So let's talk about this. So what happens here is, so good third by Chucky. Good shot by Smyth. And Chucky goes high. Smyth is ready for it and gets, for as ready as he was for it, I feel like maybe he should have hit that with a little bit more pace. But anyways, he gets a nice downward angle on the shot, which is the most important part. Let's go. Tursky comes over to Dyer. Dyer hits a nice shot over to Chucky. And Chucky goes high. What people are trying to do when they go high on you is get you to pop it up to some extent. Basically to get themselves to go on offense because they're coming from usually a defensive or a neutral position, and they're popping it up to you to turn their position into offense. So if you do not, the most important thing I think when somebody pops it up to you is a downward angle on the ball, because if you don't get that downward angle, then you generally are the person that is the person that's hitting it high to you. Their teammate, if they're good, is going to be ready for whatever you do. They're going to be looking at their teammate, and they're going to be seeing that they're going to try to jam you, and they are especially in tune to your reaction of the jam. So they're looking for anything off your paddle that's punishable. So it's key that you hit something low. You hit a downward angle, it's not into the net, but something that they can't, turn into a punish. So what happens here? He again goes high, right? He actually goes very high, and that ball may have been out, but it could have dropped, but I sort of agree with him hitting that because it could have dropped. But Smyth doesn't get, he's not ready for it. He doesn't get enough pace on the high ball, and he hits it with enough height that Tursky is able to because he was so in tune with with how he dealt with the high ball, he is able to get a good shot off on Dyer. He knows what Chucky is trying to do. I think this is, I don't know if this is just an easy match for them. They just hard on Smyth. Smyth comes back to Chucky, and Chucky actually pops that up, but Dyer can't finish. There we go, Dyer with the serve. That's with a decent third. Okay, decent fifth. He's up the line. Dyer with a nice, maybe slightly high by Tursky on the dink. A nice use of the backhand topspin by Dyer to go down the middle. Again, Smyth late on charging. We got just, because he's late on charging, his fifth is a little high, and Chucky punishes it cross court backhand. Smyth with a hard third, decent fifth. We go 7 up to the net, and Tursky with a bit of a pop up to Dyer, who finishes. Smyth has an unorthodox technique with his shots. Dyer with a decent third and then a fifth, and look how far back they are. Folks, pickleball is just about getting up to the net to begin with, and Dyer and Smyth are not able to get up to the net. The key thing being they're not getting the momentum going forward when they hit their thirds. They're just standing back, and they're approaching too slow. So Dyer, Chucky misses his hard third. Tursky, good third. Smyth cross court. He goes high on Dyer, but Dyer's ready for it. Dyer, and good third by Dyer, and Tursky misses his fourth. Can't have that. Oh, good dive. Good dive by that guy over there. Who's that guy? Third by Dyer. Very nice. Fifth, good. Good dink in here. Over Smyth. Cross court to Dyer, and Dyer just misses his backhand dink. Good there by Smyth, too slow, up to the net. Good dinking here by Dyer. Chucky. Oh, and Dyer. Let's look at this. Wasn't a terrible shot, but I would have preferred him going more for the chest area than he almost went for the head area. A bit of a high third, but no punish there by Dyer. Working their way up. Very nice. Dyer and Chucky. Dyer goes hard, but Smyth is ready. Chucky, hard, fifth, misses. So, Smyth goes hard to Chucky, manages to get a point, but he still is not approaching his third. tell you what, Smyth is one of the most unorthodox players that I've seen. It's like he should be following that third to cut off angles. Good punish. Good shot by Chucky to get up to the net. And Tursky tries to punish a questionable ball. Tursky trying to put a little masse on his third shot. Doesn't work out. Smyth with a good third. Good fit. Oh, good D. Just too. He's so unorthodox, but he makes these shots. Just so unorthodox. I can't believe they won that rally. He hit such high degree of difficulty shots. I mean, he's making them, but his positioning in the court. Let's look at this point again. Half speed. Okay. Watch when Smyth hits his third, the way he's just kind of standing flat. He's not, he has to, so he steps back first before he goes over. It's a punishable fifth and somehow manages to just slap that back perfect for his seventh. Then his ninth is a bit high. And just great hands by Dyer getting these back from Chucky. Chucky goes, and here we have a sort of dink. We have a hard shot to Dyer, the good hands. And good hands by Smyth. We just got some crazy volleys going back and forth. Get this a downward angle. All those shots are such high degree of difficulty. They're standing a foot or two back from the kitchen, and Tursky and Chucky have the advantage standing up at the line. Dyer with a not very good third, stabs for his fifth. Good shot by Tursky to find that hole and gets Dyer to stab at it out. So I think one of the key things in pickleball you have to realize is to realize when you're on defense. Ask yourself, am I on defense? And if you're on defense, you should be making a defensive shot. So good shot by Tursky swinging Dyer wide. And Dyer unable to move and hit that backhand dink. Short return. Tursky, nice soft touch up to the net. Got Smyth, who is standing inches back from the kitchen when he shouldn't be. Floats it over to, I don't know who hit that, but it looks like they went high on Dyer and he wasn't ready for it. Chucky hard third and gets the pop-up. Kamikaze play, which is when you hit a hard third, follow it up, hope for the pop-up, and then finish on your fifth. But I don't think Smyth is getting to the net quick enough. Let's take a look at that shot. So let's take a, it looks like Smyth on his returns even, he's doing the same thing. So you're doing the same thing on your returns, is get your momentum forward. So he's look at him leaning back as he hits it. He needs to be farther back to begin with, if this is the case when he hits returns. Needs to be farther back to begin with so he can get his momentum moving forward as he hits his return. This will enable him to get all the way up to the kitchen. See, when he hits this, he's not up at the kitchen. He's several feet back from the kitchen. So he can't properly punish this. It increases the degree of difficulty of the shot that he has to make. And he ends up popping it up. and Chucky's is there for the punish. It's very important on your return that you get your momentum moving forward so that you can get up to the line by the time that they hit their third. Hits a return out, and that's game. And folks, as you can imagine, the second game has got to be more of the same due to the time limit. I know that Tursky and Chucky won. So you can see the errors that they're making, and very few errors by Tursky and Chucky. So Tursky and Chucky end up winning this. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop it here, but I hope you've learned something. And I'm going to check out some more YouTube or watch a movie. Signing out from Virginia Beach.